Hello and welcome. Today is all about the Hagrid motorbike adventure at Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida. Actually, how long it takes to get on the ride depending on the actual volume of people in the park. So we've got a bit of a challenge to come. Now we can see you've got Hogsmeade train station. That is one of two train stations that are located in either theme park, because you need a separate ticket to Universal Studios to be able to get on that train to take you over to the other theme park, and that is an amazing interactive ride. So we're currently on Islands of Adventure side. If we carried on walking in a straight line, that would then take you into the Jurassic Park section of this wonderful theme park. So you can see just how amazing this theming is on this side, and then the Universal Studios is diagonal alley, and it is completely different on the other side with different rides as well. So what we're going to do, we're going to make our way over to the locker. I'm going to open the locker up, set my phone off for regards to the actual queue length. So we're going to set a stopwatch off, and then we're going to do a loop, come back to the lockers and just see how long it takes to walk through the queue line. Next thing we're about to see is the ride itself, off-ride footage, because you are not allowed to film on the ride whatsoever, but you get a gist of what I'm about to get on. It is amazing, and it is a big ride as well. And then the queue line is phenomenal. So what we're going to do, we're going to jump from this bit now because it's going to get a little bit busy, and then we're going to take a look at what is to come with this amazing ride. Right, game is on. So I'm going to dump all the bits and pieces in the locker that I can't actually hold, and then I have a zippy jacket with me, which is obviously where the GoPro goes. So it's safe and sound, so it's not loose. Anything loose needs to go in the lockers. Loads of people actually did them taking bags and phones with them, so I guess there is an area that you can wait and just sort of stand and watch the ride, but obviously I throw all the bits and pieces in there. You do not go through a metal detector like you do with the Hulk. It is not as vicious as the Hulk, but I think it is a little bit quicker. So it's a slightly different setup again. I think the best way of doing it is the new Velociraptor coaster, where you walk through the queue line, then put your stuff in the locker just before you get on the ride. Because I think they realise everybody wants to sort of take photos of the amazing queue lines that they have, but you can't do that with Hulk whatsoever because you go through the metal detector and the lockers are well away from the actual ride itself. But as you can see, I am fighting the locker. I end up shutting with my head because I'm actually balancing on my elbow and my knees because I was literally on the floor. So that was a swift headbutt just to get that locker shut. So you can see there's my jacket. I'm trying to get everything together because I've just got the little GoPro without the stick, so I am just holding a teeny tiny camera, and like I said, that would just go in my zip pocket. But some people, as you can see, still took the bags with them, so I'm not too sure if they actually ended up just putting their bag on the floor before they got on the ride, or there is a separate waiting area where you can obviously just watch people get on it. So I don't know if you can do like a parent swap and different things like that. And there is quite a fast ride, this one. So again, like I said, I think the best way of setting up all the lockers and things is how they've done with the new Velociraptor coaster. It's a shame with the Hulk because the Hulk has an amazing queue line, amazing detail, and you just can't, obviously you're not allowed to take anything with you. You can't have a phone with you, nothing like that, because the metal detector will go off and then they'll tell you to put it in the actual lockers. So where we're going through now is obviously we are part of the queue line itself. So the second we went through and you started to see all the metal barriers, that is where the queue can go. There's an extended piece just there, which I do believe, I think might have flooded at one point. So they've actually blocked a bit of that off. So you can't go all the way around. And then we've got to go over these sort of makeshift steps. So this is an area that they are in the process of repairing, I think. So if you know the reason why that was, or if that was a common thing, then obviously please let everybody else know in the comments below. But as far as I'm aware, it is all going now. And I think they did shut the ride down for a week or two in the quiet season as well, just to do some other running repairs and things like that as well, because everything with regards to the theming is absolutely amazing. And there's so many moving mechanical parts in the queue line and the ride itself. They've obviously got to stay on top of all the maintenance and things like that, but the area that this thing takes up is absolutely huge. So luckily we are moving, we are just plodding along. You can see in the background you've got the massive castle, and then as we come through round, there's lots of different bits and pieces to have a look at in this queue. But I would never ever want to be this far back. I reckon probably fully length the queue's going to be what, maybe 4 or 5 hours. So you can see it even got arrows to tell you which way to go. Luckily none of the extended pieces were in. We didn't have to walk up and around the little Hagrid sort of garden area that they've got as well. I think we might see it in the distance, but we didn't have to do it, which was a good thing. So I think we literally got quite close to the actual way in to the park. But again, they're 3 deep to the left-hand side. So you can see how they snake you all the way up and all the way back. If you have experienced this queue line fully, let me know in the comments below how long it took you to get through, because you can see that they are just starting to bottleneck up just at the top, and we are not too far from getting actually on the ride. I say getting on the ride, getting in to the actual ride and sort of having some of the little bits and pieces to see. So it's not that bad, luckily, because I have done this before and I kind of knew how long it would take. But this bit to me was the first time I'd ever walked down this. So I'd never got this close to like the pumpkin patch and all of these other little Hagrid's hut. That is the key word. So I didn't have to stand by this for too long, and you can see just all the amazing theming in here. But you can see that you can keep going further left, and I might go a little bit further behind that bit of greenery, then might come back on itself. It just is a proper maze, but it is that big. You can see that they do have water fountains. Be amazing to see what this looks like lit up at night with all the lighting and everything. And they do have the mist sprayers in the trees, so when it is very hot, they'll just sort of douse you down with a fine mist of water, which is always a nice thing. But the fact that the queue line has arrows means, well, you can just see how big it is for yourself. But that bit is the bit that I've never done before. Some of this queue I've actually not done. Usually I just kick through. So I don't know if they have extended it since the last time I came in. And then we end up getting stuck here just for a couple of minutes, because I didn't realise that they actually were doing the sort of pre-show. Now, I've never seen that before. Normally it's just a case of you just carry on walking through. I thought they'd stopped doing that, but that is actually a thing that they'll carry on working. And yes, all of that theming to the right hand side and in the far distance is how far back the ride actually goes. Like I said, this thing is enormous. It's, I guess, would have been a lot of people's favourite ride until potentially the new Jurassic Park one opened. So it'd be very interesting to see if you were to rank the 3 rides, the main 3 roller coasters in Islands of Adventure, which is the Hulk, which is the oldest, then this one, which has a phenomenal queue line, and then the new Jurassic Park. Let me know which you prefer. Now, in places, it is going to be dark. I've done my best to brighten it up, but I don't want to brighten it up too much because it takes the effect away. So there is animatronics going, there's screens speaking to each other. There's all sorts of different bits and pieces that we're going to be having a look at, so we can just see as we keep moving around at a slow pace exactly what is what. And I think we've got a little bit of the animatronic ride. I say the animatronic ride, the actual screen 3D, that's what we're after. So we've got that to come through and have a look at as well. And then you've got each of these individual rooms that we need to have a look at, and you've got all different bits and pieces dangling off the ceiling. Lots of different lights, lots of just sort of really nice theming to go through. And you can see as we come through round, I think that is the single person queue to the right hand side, I think anyway. And then you've got this green light which is telling everybody to come into this next room. This room is, again, depending on where you stand, you could actually lose a lot of places in the queue line, because you do have this. Now, this is a cool thing. So this is where you have your pre-show, and then you think from here, well, after the pre-show, it's not going to be too long. It just keeps going and going and going. It's like a 4D thing, because when they blow the wind at you and they do all the magical spells, you do get wet a little bit and you can feel the breeze of everything that's going on. But it is a cool thing. It's nice to see this, and it just tells you about the bike itself, and then the bike starts to hover and does some other little bits and pieces right on cue. So you can see all the little bits and pieces that are going on there, and it does tell a good story as well. So it's quite nice to have just sort of this as a break up. And I guess what they do is they'll pack this room full. That's why the queue was stopped on the outside. Then they feed you through, and then they move you into the next bit. And you've got other bits and pieces of the different films that you could walk through, and I'm sure that some of you have much better knowledge than me of what we're about to see. So in the comments below, let us know if I miss anything, because like I said, there's so much to see and take in. At the moment, as this pre-show we're watching, I am struggling to remember exactly what we're about to see next, because there are so many interactive rides and huge queue lines within both lands for Harry Potter. You've got Gringotts Bank, which looks phenomenal in Lego form as well, because you've obviously got the bank that you walk through, that is the queue line, and then you literally go underground for the ride. It is a fantastic looking thing. The other one, obviously the castle itself, Hogwarts, that has another massive queue line, and that's a very, very detailed thing. So that'll be available in a separate video, whereas this one, I'm trying to remember what we actually walked through. There's lots of bits and pieces, but it is very, very dark. And then I know there's like a museum type piece that we walk through, and then you've got the big gloves and big boots and stuff that you see. So I'm not too sure if they're actual props or replicas from the actual film. But what we're looking at now is obviously coming to the very, almost at the end of the pre-show. So that you would feel the heat from, and then when they spray you in a second with the water, so you would feel that blast, and then they're about to put it out with water, and then basically the doors open and you carry on. Now, I would like for you guys to listen to this fully and me not say anything, but due to copyright reasons and all that kind of thing, I have to speak over the top of it because I still don't understand the fair trade use. So if you can help us with that as well, that would be brilliant. But you know, you just have to, if it's one of those things that you do get to experience, so this is where you end up getting wet, and if it is running at the time, then you are lucky enough to see this pre-show, because this is the first time I'd seen it, and I had done this ride, this must be about my 10th time I've done this ride, and I think it's the first time I've seen this show. So again, I thought that they had stopped doing this, but I'm not too sure if they just stopped doing it due to COVID and they just wanted to keep people spread out, because obviously some of the rides over the COVID period, I guess, would have closed because they are indoors, and I know they did have that problem over in Dubai as well for their parks and resorts. Now, you've got to be careful where you stand with this, because if you do what I've done and just walk to the very, very end to just get a good look at the screen, everybody by that exit sign is where the door is. So everybody now, there's probably about 50 people, they've all got in front of me, but I really don't care, because I just want to explore and experience the queue line. And like I said, it will be getting dark. I have tried to brighten it up in certain places. There are different bits and pieces that we are looking at, but I have absolutely no idea how clean and clear this bit is coming through. But fingers crossed, it's not just going to be pitch black like what we're looking at now, but you've got all of the detail up top, and you can see just the texture of absolutely everything, and you've got all the windows that we're going to be having a look at, and you've got all the amazing cobweb effect and all the lights. So it does pick it up. You can see I've brightened it up on this bit, so it might be a little bit pixelated, but it is what it is. But you can see all of these people. This is still the same bit. I've not yet left the room where the pre-show was, so everything is on an absolutely enormous scale. And then we'll be walking into the next section, and then what I've done is every time the line stops, I've cut that bit out. So that's why the video is just over 17 minutes long. So you kind of got to guess how long you think you would be waiting for. So this is the next area. That's the bit that we get into. Now it's moving, and you can see it snakes all the way down, comes all the way back up, all the way back down, all the way back up. Then you go into the next room. But I don't know what this area is supposed to be. Let me know, because I can't figure it out for myself. I don't know what halls this is from. I don't even know what area that we're in. So I am being a little bit dumb on this bit, because I can't remember what this represents with regards to the actual films. So we've just snaked through the queue line, and we're about to go into the next piece. And again, on this bit, there's some bits and pieces to have a look at on the wall. You've got some TV screens that tell you how to get on, and then you've got these dark and dingy corridors. So it really does make you feel that you're underground. It's not that claustrophobic. So if you are scared of the dark, or you don't like small spaces, it is on a vast scale, and you can see where they've got all the exit points as well. So you're not going to start panicking, I wouldn't imagine. But again, if you are not suited to this, or you don't like the look of this queue line, then again, you might have to take the single rider queue, because you miss all of this, I do believe, and then you get to the bit at the end, and then they just wait to pair you up with somebody, and then you can get on. Because obviously a lot of people will be in twos, or then you just have me that be by themselves, or you have a group of 3. Now this is what I class as like the museum-y type section, because all the bits with the lights, there's lots and lots of props and things to have a look at. So there is a lot to see. So if the queue is moving very slowly, this is the bit that you can just sort of take your time and have a look, and you've got all of these bits and pieces with regards to what they are supposed to be. You can let me know, because I have absolutely no idea whatsoever. But like I said, you can fill me in, because I am clueless at this point, but I am just soaking in all of the thing. Now, I've got a very funny feeling this is exactly where the single liners ride joins, or the fast track. So where we're stood now, there is a person letting people in, and I'm not too sure if it is the fast track or the single. So if you have done it, please let me know, because I did not have a fast track, obviously, because I was there for the week and I didn't really need it. But you can skip a massive amount of time being able to do that. And then obviously as a single rider, I'm not too sure where you sort of feed in through, but you know you're getting close to the ride if you're seeing how you get on. It is a continuous moving conveyor belt. So if you're doing it as a two, you've got to make the decision of, are you going to ride the bike or the sidecar, or are you going to do the ride twice? Because it feels completely different depending on if you're on the bike or the sidecar, which is really, really weird to say, but it gives you a completely different experience, because obviously how you turn on the track and everything like that. And with that amazing sort of vertical drop it has, which lots of people forget about. Once you've gone backwards, yes, you do go right up to the top, and then you go backwards and you do half the track back, and then you drop and then you do a completely different part of the track. They have so many different elements on this ride. It is absolutely phenomenal, but you can see it continuously moves and the ride doesn't stop. So the queue line feels like it does continuously move. But the problem you have is where the fast track people join, that's where you bottleneck up from time to time. And so that's why sometimes you feel that you stood still for ages, even though the ride itself does not stop. Now we are getting very, very close to getting on the ride, and above us is the last effect. Now this is where it feels like all the bikes and everything are actually going over and above you, and this is where you can actually see just the vast amount of people here snaking through, but it is moving quickly enough so you can see how it just snakes through, but you've got all these amazing effects above your head, and you've got the really nice noises of the bike. So I'll go quiet just for a second. So it is a loud thing, so you can see what it's like in there. I've took the volume down by 22 decibels, I do believe, and then that is exactly what it's like. So what you've just heard it at is the normal recording volume. And you can see it carries on going above the top. The sort of speech across the top changes from time to time, and obviously you've just got them shooting around above your head for a little bit. But we're about to go back outside. And you, my lovely, take care. So that is it. That was a ride done. What a thing it is. It's fantastic. Now, what do you think of the time? Write it down. 52 minutes that took from start to finish. And I was almost moving all the time as well. So it was one of those that is a lot to see. Like I said, with regards to if you are stood just as you go inside the building, you'll be absolutely fine. But it's 52 minutes internal queue length. That's obviously not including how long it was on the outside, because we didn't stop outside basically at all. So keep that in mind. But guys, I'm going to wrap it up. So that was the whole point of this, as we just walked through the last little bit. Like I've said, there is a full Universal playlist, plus loads of other Universal parks, Legolands, and all the other bits and pieces all around the world. So if you are interested in any other bits and pieces, hunt those down. If you're a Lego fan, loads of unboxing bits and pieces to look at as well. But guys, hope you find this useful. At least you know how long it is now with regards to the queue length from the inside only. So it's 52 minutes internally. Let us know what you've been like. Let us know what your best time is. Let us know what your worst time is as well. Like I said, use the comment section as a healthy hub to help everybody else out. But guys, if you can like this video and subscribe to the channel, that'd be absolutely fantastic. But as always, thank you very much for watching. You lot take care, and I'll see you next one. Ta-da.